Once a month on a Wednesday night, I get to do another part of my life that some of y'all know. I'm a podcaster for a very, very long time, and I get to bring my friends and colleagues and people that I had and really have I call it the high conscious conversation, and that's what we're going to have tonight. And one thing about Liz Raci, y'all don't know, some of y'all know, I met Liz Raci when I was entering into practitioner training, and this was in 2008, and we were together at Agape, and part of the practitioner training was internship, and I got to be a part of I'm going to say a movement, that's what came to mind. It was called Pathway to Freedom, right? Or Freedom Pathway? Freedom Path. And it was like if you're looking to be free from any form of addiction or anything that's holding you back, anger, drinking, drugs, whatever it was. And when I got a chance to sit next to her and be part of this movement, I went, I'm going to know her for the rest of my life. And here we are, what year is it? Almost like 20 years later, here we are together in this community. So everyone, tonight we're going to have a high conscious conversation with myself, Jami Lula and Liz Raci. Give her some love. Bring her up to the stage. Have a seat right here, sister. So exciting. And we are talking about spiritual wellness, and one of the things that I realized, and I didn't realize until I was on the beach in Croatia, and I had been working for, I'd say, the last 5 or 6 months, 7 days a week, not having a day off. And not even that was taking on people's disappointment and things that weren't happening. I was taking on making sure everything was right, making sure everything was perfect here on a Wednesday night, and other things, other aspect, and taking on that part of stress and trauma. I'm going to call it trauma. I didn't realize I was experiencing trauma until I got a chance to sit on the beach and breathe. And I realized how imbalanced I was feeling. I wasn't well. And that's why this trip was for me to go away. And I didn't want to teach anybody how to pray. I didn't want to teach anybody how to meditate. And I sure enough didn't want to teach yoga. And I wanted to go on this beach and just be, and this is where God revealed to me spiritual wellness, balance in your life. And Liz, thank you so much for being here and holding it down when I was away, and I love working with you and being with you. Where in your life have you felt imbalanced and unwell?
Oh my gosh.
Let me see. Let me turn you on. Let me turn.
Turn me on, baby.
There we go. There we go.
For many years, it was funny. Sharon, I don't think Sharon's here tonight, but Sharon and I were talking. She's often here on a Wednesday night, and she said, I don't know how anyone gets through their day without God. I don't know how anyone gets through the week or their life without God. And she said, have you ever, been in that place where you had to just get through without God? And I said, yeah, there's only one way I got through without God, and that was when I was on cocaine. I got along just fine without God when I was snorting every day. Snorting so much that I'd be up for 3 days. And I have pictures of me from that period in my life. We were renovating an old ballroom into a theater, into a black box theater. And I have a picture of me. There was a built-in grid in the ceiling that was a cement. And I'm actually 25 feet up, hanging from the grid with a hammer, banging out cement, stoned out of my mind. I know, isn't that crazy? And like, I shouldn't be alive. Everything that I did to myself, I am amazed that I am living now. And that is God. And that experience, would I trade that experience? I don't know, maybe. But that experience led me to God. Yeah. That experience of just being so emotionally destitute, creatively destitute, I had to come to, it brought me to a path of, do you want to live or do you want to die? And when I chose to live, that's when I discovered God.
One of the things that I love what you're speaking about is, and I hear a lot of people who are in 12-step talk about that moment where they can be grateful for the bottom. And the bottom was when you stop digging, and you're grateful for that low point. That's amazing. Hey, Jami, when in your life can you share with us that you have felt the imbalance in your life, that you knew spiritual wellness was the only thing for you to reach for?
I've been levitating for so long that I just can't relate. It's hard to cop to this and say this out loud to my spiritual community. When I ended up in rehab after being sober for quite a number of years for a sexual addiction, and it was humbling because I didn't feel like my bottom was so bad when I got sober. But this was a moment in my life and say, I can't stop. And I went into rehab, and I was in my at the treehouse on Moore Park at the Unitarian Universalist Church, and it was embarrassing because it was a mixed meeting, and it was like I had to cop to it. It's like I'm going into rehab, and I had been sober for a lot of years at that point, and it's like I'm either going to check out, or I'm going to get sober in this program. And, it's just part of my story. It doesn't define me.
Exactly.
I remember there was a gospel singer that was on Oprah, one of the Winans or something like that copped to it on national television.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got this porn addiction, and it was about checking out. It was about not feeling. It was about not being present. And it's like, God, I need some help. I really need some help. And I didn't want to cop to it.
And you talk, this is, what I love about what we get to do. We get to teach from our authentic self, the true, being vulnerable in front of our community. We teach what we need to learn. We learn what we need to teach. And I am so honored that you would share that with us. And there are many people who are in ministry who have said, I have this issue and found help. Yeah. And I'm grateful finding help is available. Part of this work, and Jami, I'm going to stick with you. How does it feel on a daily basis when you are in your spiritual wellness? Explain, what does that feel like to you?
It's interesting because I got an F-bomb in my back pocket just to prove that I'm not too spiritual. It's
Forgiveness?
like I just don't, because I mean, I got that F forgiveness bomb. Because I was afraid of what people would think of me, especially a lot of the guys I grew up with. Not so much my best friend, because he's on this path too. But a lot of people, especially being in the music industry, it's like, well, it's like I'm not, I'm not doing Christian music, and people are like, oh, you do spiritual music? It's like, is it Christian music? It's like, no, it's life affirming, inspirational music. But what it feels like to me, it's like, my meditation on a daily basis. I pray for miles on the way to the treatment center every day. And people go, you pray for Miles, like Miles Davis? It's like, no, I'm driving and I pray for Miles. I do spiritual mind treatment.
I got to be honest with you. When you just said that, I thought Miles Davis in my mind. I was like, Miles, okay, I get it. He prays for Miles. Yeah. Thank you.
No, but I pray. I do what I call praying for Miles. And the way that started was my first time going on my own to Asilomar, because Carol Traylor was the first one I went to Asilomar with Eric Peterson. She brought us both up. This is back in 2000 when I had just graduated from University of Santa Monica in my spiritual psychology program. And so a couple of years later, I called Karen Drucker and said, can I come and sing at a Silmar? I wanted to go out and sing at centers and stuff. And on the way up there, I'm going, oh my God, I don't know anybody, and all the doubt and fear. And I just began treating. I began treating for miles and miles, and I'd be fine. And then 20 minutes later, it's like, oh, but yeah. And my prayer was that I was going to go there and I was going to participate in this team and I was going to make lifelong friends and I was going to participate and I was going to be enthusiastic. And I went and I did all those things. David Alt, Karen Drucker, they've become like lifelong friends. I mean, like really dear, everything I prayed for.
It's amazing.
And it's like, so that's what I do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
When I go to the treatment center, I had no idea what I was going to do today. We were doing responsibility. And like I said, we wrote a song. On the way there, I'm like, I'm going to bring music today. I'm not going to just like talk at them. It's like, I'm going to engage them and we're going to write a song. Responsibility. I got me a responsibility.
Love it.
And there were rappers, and there was kind of country, and there were various styles, and it was an amalgam, and it was beautiful. But it's like, I pray for Miles. I meditate. Every time I come here, I do a 20-minute meditation before I come into the sanctuary.
It's powerful, powerful. Yeah. Liz, Ernest Holmes has said in Science of Mind that spiritual wellness is not something we achieve, it's something that we practice every day.
Yeah.
How do you practice spiritual wellness for you? What is your practice?
I truly do now pray without ceasing.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a cokehead or a sex addict or anything to find God. It was just my soul's path of what I was experiencing for me to truly embrace God. But I wake up in the morning and I'm already singing. Yeah. So I'm grateful. So that's how I wake up. I wake up with a song, some sort of song, and that's how I start my day. And when you wake up singing, and I didn't always wake up singing. A lot of times I would wake up crying. Mm-hmm. But when I started doing a spiritual practice, and it didn't happen overnight, but as I started doing it and truly practicing and like, okay, now I have to do my treatment. There's one pound, that sort of thing, that moved and blossomed into, I'm always thinking about God.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I'm always thinking about good. Yes. And I'm always thinking about love. And I'm always thinking about how can I expand? How can I be more than I've ever been before this day? What can I do this day that makes me more than I've ever been? And what I can do each day is just to love more, like you were talking about, and to just bring God into everything. When I'm at work, and I have a very important email I have to send out, or I have a very important phone call, or I'm going into a meeting or something, I always stop first and I say, God, be me. Just
there you go.
Be me, baby.
Yeah.
And whatever that looks like, it's going to be good. And it's also put me into a place where I don't judge myself anymore. When I mess up, I go, look what you just did. You are so silly. Instead of like, you stupid, which I used to do.
Yeah.
But no longer, because my practices remember God in everything. In everything, driving home. Come on. When I first moved to LA, in this traffic and how people drive, my favorite thing to do was to flip everybody off. I was like, what the are you doing? And now it's just a natural practice to bless everyone.
Yeah.
When someone does something crazy in the car, my natural state of being now is to, you know what? You must be having a bad day. Somebody said it over here. Right. Just bless everyone. And you know what? That makes me free.
That's
and
powerful.
that allows me to be in an open place to find something new and exciting in each and every moment.
That's powerful.
So it's not one of those, oh, bless their heart.
Yeah, no, it's really dropping them into the field of prayer.
Yes.
Part of my work in the spiritual wellness for myself has been literally to let go of people pleasing, to let go of taking on someone else's disappointment because some people would call me up and going, I'm very upset about this, and I had nothing to do with it. yet I would take it on as I need to fix it. And that was causing me more stress and more fear, doubt, and worry, and making sure that I made this person happy. What have you let go of in your own life, Liz, to find that spiritual wellness for yourself?
You mean besides the cocaine?
Yeah, besides the cocaine. That's okay. Besides the cocaine. What was the thing that you had to let go of to really find the balance in spirituality?
Fear. Fear. The two main things for me were fear of what other people thought about me. When I was, big cokehead, I kept that so secret. Like I knew nobody knew that about me, that I would just be up for 3 days or whatever. And to have that fear, I know, isn't that hilarious? Do you remember being up for 3 days? Yeah. And then hanging from the rafters? But letting go of fear of what other people thought, of fear of not being enough, of fear of making mistakes, that, and also just learning to love and laugh at myself.
Yeah.
Letting go of fear and embracing the silliness that we all are as human beings. We are a wacky race, aren't we?
Yes, we
We're
are.
a wacky human race, boy.
Yeah.
And to just embrace that and go, that's okay. You be as wacky as you are, I'll be as wacky as I am, and we're all going to find our way to the light.
Ram Dass used to teach that all the time. He says, we are a funny group of people. We are a peculiar group of people, and we're just simply, literally walking each other home. I love this. Jami, one of the things that I love about your story is that you've taken something that people might deem to be so negative, and now you're using it to inspire others. How's your spiritual wellness been inspiring others lately?
I shared something in a group today. Susie, for a long time, was saying, I think that you're addicted to feeling bad about yourself. I think you're addicted to feeling bad about yourself. And I really had to look at that. And my charge today is to suspend judgment of myself and anyone else. I'm not always successful, but I'm getting better. I'm getting a lot better. It's obvious in the treatment center to go in and share with them, but I'm more patient with my son.
Yeah.
I sometimes catch myself, it's like, oh, are those my words or are those my dad's words? I catch my dad falling out of my mouth occasionally.
Wow.
And it's not to judge him. I mean, it's like I know that my father did the best he could, and he was a World War II veteran, and I'm sure that he had some PTSD. It was not something that he liked to talk about. He was an alcoholic, an untreated alcoholic. So I don't know if you can really call him an alcoholic because it's self-diagnosed, but I think he knew. Just, by being my authentic self. And I probably, like you, it's like, that whole idea of I'm dropping more into prayer. We have a young woman in the house there's some mental stuff going on there. And I just felt such compassion for her today because I could feel her heaviness. And sometimes she's really manic. And she's had a painful life. She watched her dad commit suicide in front of her just within the last 2 years, 2 days after her mother died of an overdose. I mean, it's like the stories that these folks, and it's all I can do is just like love them up right where they're at, and then share with the other folks. It's like, look, it's like I know that we have a tendency to judge, but like when we're pointing at someone else, we got 3 fingers pointing at us. And it's like oftentimes what we're judging other people for is just a projection of the way that we feel about ourselves. So I said, I really want to encourage you to just love each other up exactly where you're at in life. So it's like I'm able to share a lot of what I've learned And I dropped that love bomb on, it's like Susie told me. It's like, I think you're addicted to hating yourself,
Yeah. Yeah.
to judging
That's
yourself.
a common addiction, actually, to be disappointed and hate yourself, and not forgive yourself for all the wrongdoings. That's something that I've really learned through my spiritual practice. Is I mess up almost every day in something, and I mess up. But here's what I do now: is I immediately forgive myself. And here's one of my, I never thought of it as a spiritual practice until this moment, but I just naturally do this. I'm old school. I read the paper every day. The actual paper, it's not on a tablet.
Love it.
It's actually a paper. And I cry every day.
Yeah.
Every day, the first thing I do is cry. And that takes me immediately into prayer for myself and for whatever I'm crying about, whatever I'm shedding tears about, all the craziness that's going on, and reading various stories, and especially about children who are having horrible experiences. I just cry and I bawl. What's that?
Holly Hunter?
Yes. Broadcast news. Broadcast news.
You made me think of that.
Yeah, I know. In that film, she would get up every morning and she would cry, and then she'd go, okay, and go about her day. That's me.
Done.
I read and I read.
I love that.
And I go, okay. Now we're going about the day in love.
Yeah.
And we're going about the day in peace. And we're going about the day blessing everyone, and going about the day in prayer.
Absolutely. That's a powerful practice. I'm going to go back to something that, Jami, you said earlier about your father. And I love how when stuff comes up, like mother issues or father issues come up, and my response has been, well, I thought I healed that. I thought I was over that. And just recently, last weekend, I had a situation that came up and went, oh, now I know what I'm going to take to my practitioner. It's mother issues. And part of that, I believe, is the growth of the spiritual practice. And so this next question, and we're going to end with this, how do you practice peace when the world feels so chaotic? And there is an appearance, and here's the thing that I do know, and I want everyone to believe this. If you don't believe it, then get into a class where you can study it. No matter what we're seeing, peace is in the midst of the chaos. Why? Because in our teaching, we teach the omnipresence of God. And we go to the qualities of what God is. One of the big qualities for me, for God, is peace. If God is everywhere present, then peace is everywhere present in the midst of the chaos. How do you live a peaceful life in the midst of this life that feels so chaotic right now? It's for both of you, so whoever wants to jump in.
First, you have to express whatever you're feeling. You have to express the anxiety. You have to express the hate. You have to express the disturbing things that we're experiencing. And I don't mean, like go punch somebody, but you have to get it out of your system. You have to find a way to get it out of your system. And then, any word you focus on, you will start feeling that. Mm-hmm. What I do, I do a couple of things. One is there's a social media platform, and there's several, and I have followers on a lot of them, and I do my prayers on them. And I'm like, oh, peace and love, baby, peace and love. But there's this one social media platform where I don't have any followers. And I love that. And I'm not going to tell you because I don't want you to follow me. Because I get on it and I go, you stupid, la 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 la, and get it out there. And then I go, oh, okay. Now, so I've gotten it out of my body, and then I do 10 breaths. I go, peace, 1. Actually, I start at 10. Peace, 10. Peace, 9. And if I have a disturbing thought that comes in when I'm doing that, I start all over. And when I can go from 10 to 1 breaths, just thinking peace, then I'm free of it. I'm just free.
Wow, it's beautiful. Jami, how are you practicing peace in this world that feels and has an appearance of being so chaotic?
How peaceful the world could be if people were at peace with themselves. How peaceful the world could be if people were at peace with themselves. How peaceful the world could be if people were at peace with themselves. It's from a song that I wrote with my old band Lula, a song called Change. And I wrote that in like 1989. It's like before I even got into these teachings, it's like something landed. We know what landed. Praise Jesus. My friend Russell Downing is a prayer partner, a really good friend, Deborah Johnson's board president. And he said, if I believe in these teachings, I have to love that man.
Yeah.
And I send him love, and I hold him in prayer. I don't agree with what he's doing, but I have to love him.
Yeah.
And I've adopted. Quite honestly, I've never been a fan of the man. Period. Ever, from the 70s on, just never didn't resonate. And it's like, but when he said that, it's like, I just got to love him. Mm-hmm. I have to love all the people in the administration that are holding up this stuff. And whether you agree with me or not, it's like, I'm not trying to be political, but it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, I have to send love, and I have to hold that consciousness in prayer. Yeah. And that's how, it's part of how I find peace. Yeah. I sing a lot. I sing my prayers a lot. I have the most brilliant wife on the planet who is a powerfully prayerful woman. And I called her today because my 97-year-old mom took a fall last night in the middle of the night, hit her head on the dresser. She's okay. But I called Suze, and my sister and she have both been sick for a couple weeks. And I just said, I need you to hold Mom and my sister Kim in prayer because they're going through this. So it's like whenever I've got my built-in practitioner, minister, doctor, spiritual warrior.
Yes, yeah. Part of this, and we'll close with this, part of, I'm taking a little bit from everything, even from what Paul said, part of the practice that I'm always very clear about, when I'm not able to love someone, allow God in me to love that person. That means it takes the pressure off of me. When I can't love you, I'm going to let God love you. Mm-hmm. One of the things I love about music, and you both talked about music, one of my favorite, I know every song that Ricky plays, I go, oh, that's my favorite song. No, that's my favorite song. No, that's my favorite song. Om Shanti, the last lyric in Om Shanti, when there is peace in my mind, there will be peace in the earth. And when you listen, you really take that into your heart. When there's peace in my mind, there will be peace in the earth. Mm-hmm. And our brother Wayne Dyer always says this, you don't get what you're looking for, you get where you're looking from.
Exactly.
So when I can be peaceful within here and practice peace, I will see peace in the world. Everyone, give these two people so much love. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.